They said they wouldn't make the playoffs. They said they needed a point guard. They said they had no depth. And now here we are going to the WNBA Finals. Mighty Mercury. Welcome back to a very special post-game edition of the PHNX Mercury podcast. I am your host, Eric Lee. We will be joined by my QB1, PG1 on and off the field, in and out of the studio, in and out of the post-game press conference for the semifinals, where the Phoenix Mercury just defeated the Minnesota Lynx 86-81 to advance to the WNBA Finals. I got my guy Kevin behind the Mac, driving the bus, throwing the X's and O's. We got dubs all the way around in the chat. If you are in this chat right now, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. I just want to celebrate this win with you guys, to be honest. This has been a long season, extra long because 44 games now, and now 5-game series and this series, and obviously they didn't make it to 5, but it's just been one thing after another. A lot of adversity that the Mercury has faced. You know, ESPN wants to talk about how this team hasn't been whole since the beginning of the season. I want to talk about how they said this team wouldn't make the playoffs. Kevin, go ahead and get this dang ESPN graphic up on the screen here because it's too good. For the audio-only listeners, I'm going to read it to you. One realistic/bold prediction. ESPN said this verbatim. The Mercury missed the playoffs. Given the weaknesses of their bench and the fact that their new big three hasn't played any minutes together, it isn't out of the question that Phoenix misses the postseason. If Chicago, Dallas, or LA puts together just a slightly better season than the Mercury, Phoenix's postseason hopes could be squashed. There's a very small margin of error toward the bottom of the playoff picture, and if the Mercury take too much time to figure out how to play without Taurasi or Griner, their season could end early. Kevin, do you have any words about that? Because only mine are derogatory.
Shout out to who should have been the executive of the year. That is all I will say on that. Because, like Leah Cobber's been saying this whole time, please keep picking against the Mercury. Because whatever the analysis has been coming into this season and has continued through this season, it's working for the Mercury. It's worked for them. It's helped them get to where they are right now. So keep it coming.
Yeah, keep it coming. I like the underdog mentality. I've already seen all the tweets. I already know that, the Mercury is an underdog. They're a super team now. Suddenly, the Mercury is a super team. Who would have thunk we would be having this conversation after in April they said that the Mercury wouldn't make the playoffs, and now they're a super team, and it's just the underdog mentality is too much for the Mercury. All I want to say is that the executive of the year, the MVP, defensive player of the year, all of them have been silently in Phoenix, and now they're just waiting to prove their point in the finals. Worthy moment. I liked what Nate Tibbetts had to say in the post game that, the series of 3 wasn't a big enough, bright enough stage for DeWanna Bonner, and that this one got her going. I just inject that into my veins, man. Wow. And we're going to obviously get into the, by the numbers, the X factor of today's game. And Steven's going to be joining us here in a little bit with some post game, press conference clips. But if you're a Mercury fan, for the first time in 5 years, you get to say you're going back to the WNBA Finals. And there's a solid chance, let's just say it could be facing the Indiana Fever. You could be hosting the first 2 games of the WNBA Finals in less than a week. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at 1 p.m. I don't know if you've heard. Get your tickets now because they're going on sale tomorrow at 1 p.m. Just get in here, stay locked in with this team. This team is special, man. The way that Nick, he put together this roster full of people that were under-scouted, underappreciated, and frankly, unknown. And now here they are putting themselves in a position to where they're 4th in the WNBA standings to exit the regular season. They're defeating the number 1 team in the league. And listen, I feel terrible for Napheesa Collier. Terrible. There's no other word to say like that I can describe that. It feels awful. And to watch, I told Kevin, I said, I'm too much of an empath. Thank God I wasn't in that post-game presser with Kayla McBride crying, because I'm just far too much of an empath for that. I would too be crying right now, even though my team that I so much love and appreciate is going to the finals. I would still be crying. But nonetheless, like, the Mercury got it done. And this was a perfect example of what they call a trap game, where, you know, the Mercury might have felt like a little lax when they woke up this morning. Oh, Cheryl's not on the sidelines. Oh, their best player's out. But Kayla McBride cooked for 31 points, and the Phoenix Mercury were still able to get it done, put them Lynx away, and for the 6th time in franchise history, head back to the WNBA Finals. 6th time in franchise history. You know, this was the Minnesota Lynx drive for 5. I need something that rhymes with 6, because
a sprint for 6.
I like that. All right. This is why we keep Kevin on the staff, man. He's quick with it. And I want you guys to leave a comment right now. Talk to me about how you feel about this victory. What's your one-word burn? We always give our one-word burns, but give me your one-word burn. Tell me how you feel about this victory, because frankly, this is a fantastic team victory. Nonetheless, let's get into the by the numbers, Kevin. I want to talk about some basketball. And this by the numbers tells the whole story. 86-81 Mercury victory, 42%. That's what the Mercury shot from the field, 42.6%, 41.6% for the Minnesota Lynx. The 3-point percentages were very, very close. The Mercury shooting 39.3%, with the Lynx shooting 37.5%. And that's pretty much all in the second half. The Lynx did not hit a 3-pointer in that first half. So, you know, hats off to Kayla McBride and the Lynx for getting, you know, it together in that second half. They looked really, really good, despite not having their best player on the floor. 12 turnovers for the Mercury to the Lynx's 10. And the Mercury...
I would also like to point out that I made a mistake on this graphic. That is the fouls, like free throws made at the bottom, not points in the paint.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. My gosh. 12 to 10 turnovers, and then the Mercury out-rebounded the Lynx 38-34. And, yeah, Kevin made a little bit of a boo-boo, but that's okay. We were all excited here in the chat. Free throws, 17-23, and I think that said 8 of 9 for the Lynx. So, you know, if Cheryl didn't get thrown out of this last game, she might have got thrown out of this one for the officiating as well. I could write the jokes all day, but I won't. As someone in the comments said, you know, we got to focus on our players. So I like this Ghost one-word burn, unbelievable. I hope I said that right. To your gritty, tenacious vibes. Look at you guys dropping your one-word burns in the chat. I love this. This is excellent. Excellent victory by the Phoenix Mercury to send themselves back to the finals. Kevin, let's just go ahead and talk about the X factor for today's game. It's Alyssa freaking Thomas, and she continues to get it done on both ends of the floor for this team. 23 points, 8 rebounds, 10 assists, a steal. Just another absolute ridiculous showing from the engine. And, you know, you could see the tears on her face. And after the game, she's talking about, this is why I came to Phoenix. This is why I wanted to come play with this roster. This is why I wanted to come play with this coach. This is why I wanted to come play for this franchise. They have expectations. They want to win, and they are going to win. They gritted this one out, and thanks to Alyssa Thomas and Satou Sabally. Don't worry, Satou. We're going to get to you in just a very short amount of time. Don't you even worry. Kevin, as you were watching this game, did you think the Mercury were going to pull it off? They were down 13 going into the fourth quarter. So kind of another big comeback victory by this team. A couple of huge defensive stops to start the fourth quarter. And then boom, Mercury on top like it's nothing. How were you feeling here back at the Stew?
You know, I never gave up on the squad. Like, I never thought that it was absolutely out of their reach. However, there was a moment where Kayla McBride had just hit that three that kind of, you know, swirled and drained around and then fell. And I was thinking, you know, maybe it's just like a Kayla McBride special showing kind of a night. You have to win this game, but there's still some time left. So I was pretty dejected, but I had not quite given up. And then that fourth quarter happened, and man, what a performance from the Phoenix Mercury, right? Like we were talking in jest about like the playoff hat and how it's like, well, the historic 20-point comeback and, they won, another game with it. Well, let's see what happens today. But this comeback was truly special. McBride was like single-handedly keeping Minnesota's season alive. It was on life support, but McBride was trying to keep the electricity pumping to that room. And DeWanna Bonner shut it off, truly, at the end of the game. It was really special. And we talked a little bit about it, but like Nate in the post-game presser talking about how like this is why I continued to play DB. Like this is why you trust one of the all-time greats. Like, yes, DB was going through a really bad slump. Like, I think that's okay to say. I think DB herself would tell you that is not the way that, DB wants to play basketball. But that's why you keep DB playing. That's why you keep DeWanna Bonner in the game for moments like that, because the greats rise to the occasion almost every single time.
Steven, how do I feel? I feel a little disappointed that there are almost 90 people in here and we've got how many likes? 36. Guys, get them numbers up. If I got to get the numbies up, you got to get the numbies up. DeWanna Bonner was huge for this team, though. Clutch buckets. We need to nickname her something. DeWanna Clutch Buckets. I don't know.
They were calling her Big Shot Bonner
Ooh.
on the live stream, not the live stream, but the broadcast today and in the post game. How do we feel about Big Shot Bonner?
I like that. And 3 for 4 from 3 in a game like this, where it's not win or go home. In fact, it's win or go on the road. But it feels like we got to get this victory here in Phoenix, or it's going to go back to Minnesota, and the hill to climb is just going to be rather upwards, right?
You have zero momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah, and without Cheryl Reeve, without Nafisa Collier, like this was not a gotta have it, as Steven would say, but a must win.
Steven, you're on to something here. I'm not going to say, but things are available and things could happen anytime. I need you guys to know what this realizes or what this means for this podcast, though. Kevin, do you know what this means for this podcast?
I think we have to do a dance at some point.
This means we all have to learn the Mighty Mercury dance. And I already halfway do it through the whole entire arena. But now I don't think you guys understand what it means for us to be saying the words Stephen Pridgeon Garner is going to be doing the Mighty Mercury dance. Melissa.
He's going to eat it up. We know he is.
Yeah. Melissa, I know that this man, Stephen, tell us. He's got the moves, right? He's got the moves.
We're going to find out from Steven in a bit, because he's coming back with not only presser clips, but I'm sure a ton of takes and probably a ton of receipts, honestly, because I feel like this is a big W for a man like SPG, who's been holding it down for this Mercury squad all season.
Steven, there is a little gap because the other side of the bracket has to go to 5 games. Maybe, just maybe, we could catch Mac. Olivia, my girl, if you're watching right now, please. We just need Mac for 10 minutes. Let us learn the Mighty Mercury dance, and then boom, now you got us a pod.
Before we get back to the Mighty Mercury dance thing, Erica, and before we get into too much more analysis of the actual game with Steven when he gets into the studio, what was your favorite moment of this game? You were live in the arena. It was the X Factor was really flexing their muscle as the best environment in the W today. What was the best moment in live from PHX Arena?
I think number 1 is when DeWanna hits a, 3 from practically Tempe. That obviously gets you juiced. You're looking at a WNBA champion with the Phoenix Mercury in DeWanna Bonner already, and now she's about to put them situationally back in a position to do that again. But then also in the following play after, I don't remember which Lynx player it was that misses the bucket, but when the Mercury player gets that rebound, the crowd just absolutely erupted. I have never in my life heard a crowd that went so bananas over a timeout. It was just unlike anything I've ever seen before. It was full. The upper bowl, Kevin, was almost completely full. And that place was just, the floor was vibrating. And I was sitting on the floor watching the Unicorn and the Engine warm up pregame, and they're testing out Scorch's new drum that I think he got, and he was vibing with that thing, hitting the defense that he was about to hit during the game. You could feel the floor shaking below you when Scorch hit that drum. Plus, I got to give the Jonas Brothers a little shout out because, the Jonas Brothers didn't show up to the game today, which is okay. They just were coming off of a 4-game series themselves. I understand they're probably a little smoked and they don't want to come and watch the people that took their arena from them win the game. I get it.
Was that a burning up joke? They're smoked?
You can take it that way, Kevin. But what I do want to talk about is the fact that Scorch gave us a Jonas Brothers entire performance. He started with a little SOS, ended with a little burning up, and it was lit in there. Beginning to end, it was absolutely lit. And to Kevin's point, they were flexing their muscles as the best fans in the WNBA. And Kevin, did you see the sign that I posted from the Phoenix Mercury account that said just came from Loser Town? You, as in the Lynx, are quite popular there. I love that, man. Maddie, PHX Sons on Twitter, turn me up with that sign, man. I saw her from the floor. I saw her like halfway up, and I said, I gotta go find out what that sign says. I don't know who that is. Don't know what that sign says, but I need to know right now. But yeah, tough day to be a Jonas brother. Poor fellas. But you know what's not a tough day to be? Erica, the Phoenix Mercury, Kevin, Stephen Pridge and Garner. Heck, any of you guys in the comments, seems like it's a pretty great day to be you guys. Man, Steven says it correct in the chat. Can't spell Lynx without a huge L. That's tough, guys. It's really tough when you guys make me say things like that live and on the air. Man, people are going through my tweets to bookmark them, and it's just tough because I got nothing for you to come back to because I said the Mercury were going to win it all, and now they're still in a position to do so. It's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. I really wonder what it's like for other folks that are fans of Phoenix sports teams that aren't the Mercury because...
Can we talk about that? I was talking to our beloved friend Damon Farrell of my and his AZ Wildcats podcast yesterday about this. The Mercury deserve more love, and I'm happy that there are so many people today in this chat showing some love to the Mercury, so many devoted fans in PHNX Arena flexing the muscle as the X Factor tonight. But, like, there are so many franchises here in the Valley and across the state of Arizona that don't give you these types of performances, that don't give you this kind of a feeling, right? And I feel like it should make people more prideful in the Mercury because they're actually giving you these championship moments, these memories that you can really identify with as a fan of basketball. So yeah, let's lock in with this Mercury championship title run and see where it goes. Because, sorry, you're not getting it from the Cardinals this year. The Diamondbacks are eliminated.
You know who you might get it from in come April, though?
The Arizona Wildcats.
The Arizona Wildcats. So I fear the two pods that Kevo and I are the most involved with are the two that you probably should be watching. If you're only watching two with PHNX, I know the two you should definitely be tuned into.
Yes. But yeah, no, this team is special. And it's like, this should be like a pride of the Valley kind of moment. You have AT.
Wow, I love that. The pride of the Valley. Kevin, you just inspired me. Bring a tear to my eye, man. Oh my gosh. I told Kevin, I said, man, I might cry on this postgame show. I might. And I'm trying not to because I'm an ugly crier personally. And I already told the DLS show the other day that I am a retired horse girl and I will spend the rest of my life, recovering from that moment. I would hate to have my ugly cry on the internet forever. So you guys will just have to bear on without me. But let's go through the rest of this performance by the rest of this team, huh? Satou Sabally, 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. Satou Sabally and Alyssa Thomas combined for 44 points. And the words that people were saying about Satou Sabally after game 1 versus the New York Liberty, you would have thought that girl was a AAU middle school basketball player just thrown onto the Phoenix Mercury. And unfortunately, that's not the way it played out, is it, guys? Nah, she played her rear end off today. 3 for 7 from 3, 6 for 11 from the field, 6 for 9 from the free throw line. Please, nobody tell Cheryl Reeve that number because I don't need to see her crash out in 4K again. I'm reading the chat with you guys. Let's talk about, man, that's tough. But no, then DeWanna Bonner. The DeWanna Bonner of it all, our Lord and Savior, DeWanna Bonner. When Dolores and I made a little halftime and pregame prayer, because Lord knows they needed it both times. We made 2 today, just to be safe, Kevin wore his hat twice. We made 2 prayers. Everyone does what they need to do.
I wore it all 3 games this series that we won.
Plus,
Correct.
Word on the street is that someone that works for the Mercury has a lucky bracelet. I was supposed to get the knowledge today, but I did not. I left without it, and that's my bad. But yeah, I like Tanika's comments where she said, I was on Satou's head bad after game 1. I'm proud of the way she stepped up. See, and that's the thing. If you're going to be on their head, fine. But the respect better be way louder than the disrespect. And the apologies may sing the praises to the high heavens. You know what I mean, guys? And so, yeah, huge win. Just if you're a Satou Sabally fan, I saw the comment above that said, Sko Ducks. I appreciate you only for today. Well, maybe for the finals too, actually. So let me just hold my horses with that rendition of that. But shout out from New Mexico. Go Mercs. Woo. Wow. We got people all over everywhere. Kevin, word on the street is that Merc Nation is now worldwide.
Been worldwide.
It's a movement. It's got motion. I don't know who gave it motion. It might have been Erica. It might have been the Jonas Brothers. Honestly, the world may never know. But yeah, Bees, thank you. You see, the comments today are going to make me cry, you guys. This pod deserves to cover this finals team. Please don't. I'm going to start crying.
Can we talk more about Satou Sabally for a second?
Go ahead,
because
Kevin.
I had a tweet earlier today where I was saying that after she hit that 3 where she made her defender touch the floor, I sat here and thought to myself, Satou Sabally has an opportunity to be truly special, right? To be like a one-of-a-kind player in a lot of ways in a franchise that has so many one-of-a-kind players in its history. And I feel like that, to me, truly stood out this playoff run. That you have a player in Satou Sabally who can grow into this franchise and grow with alongside of Nate Tibbetts as well. It feels like before game 1 is even played, right? Obviously, you have to go play the finals, and there's a lot of things that can go on in that series. But regardless, it feels like the Mercury are set up very well for not only this year, but the future as well, because you have players like Satou Sabally on your team.
When you have, Kevin, I love that you said that because Steven and I have spent the last 2 years talking about embarrassment of riches. I feel like that's a phrase that we've practically beat like a dead horse on this pod. But genuinely, you go from Diana freaking Taurasi and Brittany Griner and all that was those two. Diana retires. BG moves on to the Atlanta Dream. And now you're headed back to the finals the year after they've left your team. I think Steven has done a pretty solid job of reminding our regular listeners how lucky you are to have moved on from that and move into this exact era. But man, today, as the Mercury are headed to the finals, I hope that all of you are really cognizant of how lucky this franchise really is. And it's not lucky by happenstance. There was work involved to Kalia's, exact point, the executive of the year, Nick Uren. And I'm sorry, Olivia, if I said that wrong, please yell at me later. I'm available anytime. But, executive of the year, what probably should have been coach of the year, and what probably should have been the MVP. And for those all to be here, year 1, post Diana, post BG, I just don't think that you can undersell those things. Thank you for all of you guys throwing me dimes. You guys are all my Alyssa Thomases in the chat because since Steven's not here, I got to have a conversation with myself and Kevo over there. Fumbling Dimes says, I'm going to have to go. DeWanna Bonner scored 11 of her 13 points in the second half. Ka scored 7 of her 13 points in the second half. Clutch performances by both players. And, Steve and I have been talking about this all year, but this is practically the big 4 here in the Phoenix Mercury now. With DeWanna Bonner as the final addition, the final infinity stone that, they needed here in Phoenix. This is really and truly kind of a big 4 construct that I don't think a lot of people were really anticipating and expecting. And what an absolute performance by all of them. I'm looking to see if my guy, Steven, is on the way. Oh, absolutely. You'll love to see it. I like how Andy said, Erica can yap. I have faith in you. Leave a comment down below. Whatever questions you have, comments about today's game. Kevin already asked what my favorite moment from today's game was. Please be sure to tell me your favorite moments from today's game. And yes,
Ooh.
Karen, Sammy was clutch. Yes, yet again.
Read my mind. I was actually going to say, like, can we talk about how Sammy Whitcomb is just simply cold-blooded every time you need her?
You know, and it's really the best because you'll take her misses all game long.
Was 0 for 5 until she hit that 3.
And the team, and to your point, like, the team just keeps believing in her and pouring into her and passing back to her. And I love that Steven points out that she's so much more than a shooter, because it's true. Like, 6 points, sure, but 4 rebounds. She's a top-notch rebounding guard. She's not big out there. And so many times the Minnesota Lynx had their big lineup out there, and Sammy Whitcomb is still out there, out jumping, out leaping, out getting to the ball up compared to everybody else on the floor. Like, come on, guys. Stone Cold Sammy, absolutely. Oh, man, I love that. But, yeah, 4 rebounds, 3 assists from our girl Sammy Whitcomb. Plus 16 on the floor. The only person that was higher than her is DeWanna Bonner with a plus 17. Man, what performances from this freaking squad tonight. Just ridiculous. She has the motor. You know, AT might be the engine. I'm not really a car girl. I know I said I changed my transmission fluid, but like, are the engine and the motor separate things or no?
I think so. I'm also not a car guy. Maybe the battery. Maybe she could be the battery.
Ooh, like the Energizer Bunny.
Sure. But there's like a battery in the engine. I don't know. There has to be car people in the chat. Please help us.
Let us know. Please let us know if the engine and the motor are the same thing, because, and actually now that I asked that question out loud for a second time, I'm noticing the stupidity in it and thinking that it might be the same thing.
She could be like a piston in the engine. Like the thing, like
those are like the things that
fire. The things that fire off. Yeah.
Wow. Welcome back to the Phoenix Mercury car podcast. Joel Sell answered our question. Engine does equal motor. Who would have freaking knew? Who would have thunking knew? Since Steven is almost here, though, I think we should just go ahead and get our break out of the way here on the PHNX Mercury podcast, because after the break, we're going to have presser clips and honestly so much more analytics going on here on the PHNX Mercury podcast. Kevin, we're going to need some rewards. And you know who's going to help us with the rewards? Mount America Credit Union. The same people that help the Phoenix Mercury with their practice facility, they rewarded them big time with the practice facility. So now they're going to reward us with the My Style Lifestyle Credit Union. It's just, man, the rewards never stop. Everyone needs a checking account. Get the account with built-in benefits. Mountain America's My Style checking account is just the perks for you. You can enjoy restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, loan rate discounts, offers on travel and events. Wink, wink. Travel to the finals and so much more. Make My Style your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. Insured by NCUA. Membership is required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration or activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Not gonna lie, guys, that might have been the most I ever ate that ad read. I ate that up. You know what else I'm gonna eat up? Kevin, any guesses?
Some peanut butter stuffed pretzels from Circle K.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Circle K, my good friends. You know what I earned today? A solid 10-cent reward for literally just existing. 10 cents off my fuel for just using my Inner Circle membership. I can't express the excitement I feel about the comments, so Kevin had to hide them from me. Thank goodness. Inner Circle rewards. Circle K is America's thirst stop. Join the Inner Circle free membership program for free. Easy to download. All you got to do is get the app, download it, put in your email address, put in your phone number, and bing, bada, boom, you're in the Inner Circle. You get 25 cents off a gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, 3 cents a gallon on every single fill-up after that. You can earn your way into the 5 cent off club, and then boom, Circle K is just going to throw you all these rewards. 10 cents off, 25 cents off. Oh, fuel day, here's 40 cents off. Whatever you want, whenever you want. Three for $5 on the Gatorades. Listen, I'm really a big fan of the Fusion Gatorades right now, the little halvesies ones, and you can get them for $3 for $5 at the Circle K, which is the best deal going right now. So join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Michelle is back. The Mercury are going to the finals, and Michelle is back in our comments. If I didn't have to be on camera, I would run in a circle with my arms out right now. But unfortunately, the one shot is pretty zoomed in on me. So if I got up right now, it might be a little awkward.
I mean, Eric did the worm last night on ASU show.
I was thinking about doing the Macarena, but you kind of laughed when I said that as if I shouldn't do it.
I just laughed because it was a funny visual. I didn't mean to discourage you.
You know, any song is a song that you can do the Macarena if you try hard enough.
That was inspirational.
And that's why the Mercury is going to win the WNBA Finals.
I mean, among other reasons, such as Alyssa Thomas, Satou Sabally, DeWanna Bonner, Kahleah Copper of it all. Can we talk about Kahleah Copper as well in this game?
Yeah, the fact that she didn't score a single point in the first half and then boom, comes out and just drills a 3-pointer to put the Lynx borderline back on their back. Like, Kahleah Copper, the gold medal winner, by the way, mind you, she just proves to be exactly who she thinks she is game after game after game. And this was just another one of those games where in front of her best friend and previous teammate, Candace Parker, she pulls off what some may deem as impossible and pulls clutch shot after clutch shot after clutch shot. And she just is one of those players that you want her to keep shooting because eventually, first of all, they're going to get back in the hoop. So you don't want her to stop doing what she's doing because she's one of the best drivers in the league. And we've been talking about that all season. Once she decides that she is the fastest player on the court, which she is, maybe Courtney Williams can compete with her. But on the defensive end, I think Courtney gets smoked every day that ends in Y. So it's tough. Thank you, Stephen Weiss. This was the gold medal revenge game. That's the comment. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Put your fists up. This was the revenge game. Remember when I said a few months ago, oh, Cheryl Reeve, you will pay for your Olympic crimes. Kevin, did she pay for Olympic crimes today or what?
Yeah, she kind of like volunteered her payment, but yeah, for sure. She definitely did.
Bees says that Mercury are a WNBA blue blood. Kevin, we talked about this a little briefly before we got on air, but like before Steven gets here and we have to be serious again, who's your finals MVP? And I know we're jumping the gun. I know you guys are gonna be like, oh, you're jinxing it. This team can't be jinxed.
Whoa, you're an insane person. I'm not gonna lie for saying that, but I don't know. You can't tell this far. We were talking about it like pre-show.
You don't want to call your shot
in terms of we were talking about a pre-show in terms of if they were to win the finals, like who would be your finals MVP if you had to like try to crystal ball tell the future. And it would feel silly to not say Alyssa Thomas just because of the statistical prowess that she commands. Like she does it all. If you're looking at a stat sheet, who else are you going to pick for the MVP outside of AT? It would be incredibly hard for anyone to reach that barometer. Like I think Satou Sabally would have to go out there and average like damn near 25 and 8. You know what I mean? To even try to get a finals MVP over AT simply because of everything that AT does on the basketball court. So yeah, no, I am not trying to call my shot too soon, but if the Mercury are to go on and finish their job, it feels like AT would be the leader of that the movement for sure.
And Kevin, are you going to be coming with us to Vegas to produce a special edition of the PHNX Mercury podcast?
Certainly, if possible. Should we get to our one-word burn?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Steven's walking in. Thank goodness. I've had enough of talking to myself. We're going to get to our one-word burns, and I'm going to start with mine while Steven gets into position. My word is disrespected. They said this team didn't have depth. They said they didn't have a point guard. They said they needed this. They said they needed that. But at the end of the day, this team is going to the WNBA Finals. And if that's not the ultimate level of disrespect after you counted them out, I don't know what is. They got it done in a timely manner. They got it done in 4 at home. And after all of the very loud disrespect, I don't think there's anything that anybody could say to bring me back down to earth, to be honest with you. Kevin, you didn't put a word on here, and I feel kind of hurt by that.
You know, I really didn't have like one. It was hard. It was a hard word or a hard game to like summarize in one word, to be completely honest with you. Steven's word, obviously he'll get to it in a second, was resilient, but I don't know. This was just such a fun victory. Like it was such a affirming victory. I feel like in a lot of ways, maybe destined in a lot of ways, but yeah. Welcome back, Steven.
Steven, welcome to the show.
How y'all doing? How's it been?
As you can tell, I've been yelling, I've been yodeling, I've been hooting and hollering for the last roughly 35 minutes. I'm excited you're here. I can't wait to hear about what went down in the press room after I left, but I want to ask off rip, just what's your vibe? How you feeling after that dub? Dubs in the chat and all that.
I mean, it's not surprising that they got here. We talked about the steps they've taken to getting to that point all season long. I feel like we're the only people that have been consistently speaking to this group having that potential, where people were saying they weren't going to make the playoffs. People were saying they might get to the first round, but they would get swept by a higher seed because they wouldn't have home court advantage. Talking about will the big three work? Is Nate Tibbetts the right coach for this group? Who's playing what position outside of the big three? It's the big three plus question mark was a lot of tweets that I saw as we entered preseason training camp and naturally once the season got started. I feel like they've answered everybody's questions robustly, and a lot of those questions we've tried to document incrementally over the course of the season to paint the picture for anybody that wanted to pay attention for this little old team down here in Phoenix that continues to find ways to get back to the finals round. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. So I don't have too much emotion. I feel like I've had these type of expectations for them because their potential and the individual talent has suggested that they could get to this level. So, congrats on getting the job done, getting to this point, but the job's still not finished as far as what this team was built to do. Getting there is cool. Winning it all is the best part of it all. So they still got their work cut out.
Well, I'm feeling amped up. I'm not gonna lie to you. I gave myself a headache, to be honest, by yelling when I got here, and it ain't gonna come down anytime soon, and that's tough. But we got almost actually we do still have 100 people here in this chat.
We appreciate all of y'all making time to come through.
They are tapped in. And word on the street, Steven, before we get to your word, is that you might have to learn the Mighty Mercury dance now.
Say who?
Said this podcast and you, right?
I said when Matt comes back on.
What?
Oh, true.
Is that not what I
that was
said?
the compromise.
Is that not
I
what I
thought
said?
that he
Well, no.
said if they win a game.
I think, no, that was me. I said that if they win a game, I would do that with you. But then Steven was like, I'm still not going. I got to wait till Matt gets on to teach us. But as you alluded to, there's a gap between now and the finals. And Natasha Mack, known friend of the show, would probably love to stop by and teach Steven how to do the dance.
She could take 15 minutes out of her day.
If Matt got time, I got time.
I said it, Olivia. If you're listening, we don't ask for much, just one little favor, and help me help you. But let's get to Steven's one word burn so we can get into Steven's analytics because that's why we're all really gathered here on this fine Friday or Sunday evening. My goodness.
Yeah, it's been a long week for sure. Resilient is definitely the word for me, just because this was not an easy win. It was not a pretty win. It was not a well-played game comprehensively for them at all, but no different than they did those last 15-ish games when they shrunk the rotation and then did in the first round and then did earlier and in the middle of this series that they just ended tonight. They just figured it out. And there's a special it factor about teams that just figure it out. It's not always going to look the same. Sometimes it might be a barrage of threes. Sometimes it might be a defense. Sometimes it might be the coach manipulating the game in your advantage like it was tonight. Sometimes it's going to be all of those things in one. Sometimes it'll be your top-end talent. Sometimes it'll be role players. Figuring it out and having multiple ways to do so is what the best teams that typically at least get to the final stage have as a kind of DNA piece to their team. And obviously this Phoenix team has it as much as any other team in the league. And here we are, watching the Mercury again in the finals for the first time in franchise history without Diana Taurasi.
I was just telling them that you've done a really good job all season of kind of reminding our listeners frequently like how lucky they really are.
Nah, spoiled.
Truly.
Spoiled, rotten.
I mean, and I could go down the laundry list of other franchises who have moved on from Keystone players and don't get a new big three to the caliber of which this one is built. Plus the roster that follows it that was completely just underappreciated at the beginning of the season for what they truly were. So luck, whatever you want to call it, spoil, it's as good as it gets for Mercury fans.
It is. It's been a fun season. I remember the first couple of episodes after free agency and whatnot. our fans weren't necessarily the ones that were questioning things, but there was just a little bit of ambiguity because there was so much newness, and newness on top of not having not just DeWanna but also BG not being around. That's a lot of change within one offseason to have to deal with. So it was warranted from the fans. It was warranted, but I think they all had caution because they all knew who Alyssa Thomas was. Eventually, you get DeWanna Bonner back, in addition to Satou Sabally coming around. I think they saw the potential, but just because it was so new, it just took a minute to earn that respect. And I feel like they did that within the first quarter of the season, even amidst a barrage of injuries. And look at where they are now.
This is a classic case for me personally of a peak at the right time team. And when you get healthy at the end of the season, you really don't have that many chances before then to even peak at the wrong time. So, all those people that were doubting, oh, this team didn't play that many minutes together, it didn't really matter in the end because they're all willing to go out there and do the right thing to get it done in a timely manner. They'll put their bodies on the line. They'll put them there. It doesn't matter. They'll do whatever it takes to get the team a victory, and they don't care if they're the one scoring the point or if Sammy Whitcomb. They don't even care if it's Kat Westbeld scoring the points. They do not care who is getting it done as long as the job is done at the end of the day.
Yeah, all that matters is the dub, and this is the team that wears that quality very well. And they've won each of these 4 games, or each of the 3 games in this series, and each of the 5 that they've won in the playoffs so far, largely because of that factor. A Sammy Whitcomb fourth quarter, an Alyssa Thomas barrage, a Satou Sabally barrage, a Kalia Copper barrage, DeWanna Bonner showing up in timely moments like tonight. It's looked different in multiple wins. Kat Westbeld sparking a comeback on the road, mind you. Like, it's looked different in multiple moments, and they've just continued to simply figure it out. That's the best quality or the best trait that a team can have. It's not always going to have to look the same way. Just getting it done is what matters most.
Before we get into the press conference clips, I want to give you a chance to kind of talk through how they got today's victory done. I went through the X factor as well as the stats for most of the big 3, as well as, honestly, mostly everybody. So just from your perspective, how was this team able to get this done tonight? Obviously, big 13-point victory or 13-point comeback in that fourth quarter, which was the second in this series, another big comeback victory. But from your perspective, just how were they able to get today done?
Look at the fourth quarter. I start there. Tonight they gave up 13 points in the fourth quarter. In game 3, they only gave up 9. So combining those 2 quarters, fourth quarter of game 4 or game 3, Minnesota shot 18.8% from the field. Fourth quarter of tonight, they shot 27.8% from the field. That's not easy to do against this Minnesota Lynx team. A team that had Nafisa Collier for a majority of that fourth quarter stretch in game 3. And then in tonight's game, a game that saw Kayla McBride do what she does best in PHX Arena, and that's just make every single three-pointer that she has an opportunity to see the basket with, it seems. Not easy to do against that team. And they found ways to do that multiple times, back-to-back games in fourth quarters. And if you go back to the fourth quarter, obviously even more so of game 2, that's what set the tone for these last 2 games. Phoenix's defense, like I've mentioned all season long, from my watching eye, has been the second best, if not the 1B to Minnesota's 1A. And like I always say, their 1B hits a little different than Minnesota's because their defense comes with a type of force that makes opponents turn the ball over. And to that point, 4 shot clock violations in 1 quarter and a jump ball secured for the defense alone. There's only one defense in the league that's doing that, and it's the one that has worn that quality as loud as anybody else's this entire playoffs. They've had by far the best defense by rating and by efficiency metrics all playoffs. And again, it shined through yet again in today's fourth quarter. 13 points conceded on 27.8%. A lot of times that's going to get you a win. And on the other side of it, because you couldn't have just got it with the defense because they were down 14 going into the fourth quarter, 31 points for the Phoenix Mercury in the fourth quarter. 83% from the field. They only missed 2 shots. Got to the free throw line 8 times. They missed 1 of those. And they had 8 assists on their 10 field goals made in the fourth quarter. 11 points for DeWanna Bonner. 10 points for Alyssa Thomas. 4 points for Kalia Copper. 6 points for Satou Sabally, or for Sammy Whitcomb, excuse me. That's how you make a comeback. It's a barrage of points, but it comes with the defense starting it, and that's how everything typically starts and finishes for this Mercury team.
Shout out to all of you guys in the comments. Light goal is 85, but if you can get to 90, I will do what Steven is asking me to do in the comments.
Which is what?
Chug a beverage politely. So you guys got 11 more, and then Kevin will go get the cup. So get to the goal.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah. Give us a call. And by that, I mean leave us a like. But Steven, I want to be able to get in these press clips. I want to make sure we don't cut anyone off today. So what do you got for us today?
Yeah, it was a very introspective type of post-game presser. True to their nature, they weren't too high. Obviously, they weren't low because there's nothing to be low about from today's game. But let's go ahead and start with Nate speaking to the countdown that they've had in the practice facility all season long to Game 7 of the finals, as well as Alyssa Thomas's impact on the team this season.
Yeah, you know, when you get ready for a season, you think about the messaging that you want to tell your team. You know, we wanted a new day mentality. Every day we walk through that facility, the security, we wanted to make each day matter. And so, you know, we put 166 to Game 7 of the finals. Some of the media caught wind of it. It might have been like 172. We were a couple days off. But now we're down to like 19, and we're here. We're still standing. It's been crazy to see that number just go down. And as the number has gone down, we've gotten better and better and closer together. And each game means more, right? But yeah, that was kind of the hope, right? That we weren't going to skip days because we were such a new group. We didn't have years of experience together, so every day mattered for us. And then AT, yeah, I mean, I don't know where we would be without her. She's just, yeah, I mean, I've said it. She's special, and she's the ultimate winner. And it's too bad that people have continued to overlook her. But I feel like she feels this is the right spot for her. And you can see it when she talks and smiles. And I'm just super happy. She took a chance, right? She could have picked a lot of different places, came here, and you know, we love having her.
Yeah, so again, this Mercury team did what no other team that's had, and I mean, it's only one other team, so what the Connecticut Sun simply couldn't do in terms of facilitating a roster to this extent to get the most out of Alyssa, but also a roster that could get the most out of themselves, independent of Alyssa. Where other teams have felt too dependent on AT to pull all of the strings and press all of the buttons and make all of the decisions. Obviously, she's at the helm of a lot of things for the Mercury, but they also have multiple pieces that can go and hold their own in multiple respects. Naturally, you look at the other 2/3 of the big three in Kalia Copper and Satou Sabally, but also role players that have more than an ability to step up. And honestly, like Kalia mentioned to me earlier this week, you can say they're role players. She says she just looks at them as winners, and that's DeWanna Bonner and Sammy Whitcomb. Finding them multiple ways to just have impact on the game. You can't put a value on those things, and this team doesn't get to this point without each and every one of those pieces, in addition to the West Bells and the Cole McConneys and Max, adding to that top 8 in the ways that they have throughout this entire playoff run.
You guys are killing me in the comments. I can barely even think about the game anymore because you guys are you just got me weak. So thank you for all of that. Be sure we're almost to the light goal. So help us get us closer. I don't know what Steven's going to do, but he'll do something entertaining. I know it from the bottom of my heart. That's what I'm saying. Macarena will do. And any song is a Macarena song if you try hard enough. So shout out to Melissa for knowing the vibes. Dubs in the chat is for the Macarena. Dubs in the chat for the Mercury. Dubs in the chat for everybody, Steven.
Dubs in the chat for sure. Very just impressive game. Impressive night from all of the women, and Nate included. They did some Herculean type efforts to get this one tonight, and to not want to go back to Minnesota. And for clip number 2, we got another one with Nate, and again, it's just him getting more and more introspective and just kind of getting to the personal side. And taking a chance and coming to Phoenix, but also the franchise betting on him and him kind of providing some background story to how the build up to this moment came to be and how this is kind of feeling in the moment for him.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be here without Nick, right? We were getting ready for the NBA season, and I randomly had a missed call from Nick. I didn't really know. I knew Nick through the NBA circles a little bit. Had interviewed for a spot on Golden State's staff a couple years before, and just going through different interview processes in the NBA, like you want to, you and the general manager are connected, right? And so you want that person to be aligned with you and about the right stuff. And I couldn't pick a better partner, to be completely honest. Him and I see the game a lot of ways in the same. And he's just like, he's the best guy, right? He just treats people with respect. He's about the right stuff. He puts our players first. And so, I got to pinch myself sometimes just because of the opportunity that Nick and Matt and Josh gave me to come here to take a chance, because not a lot of people thought it was a great hire, right? And so, that's okay, right? And we're building this thing. It's still early, but I think we're getting the respect around the league from agents and players, and that's extremely important because we do take pride in treating our people right, and it's a first-class organization. I mean, that crowd is rival to any NBA playoff game, and this city, the Valley. The X Factor has to get a lot of credit for that, and I hope that people around the nation see that, right? At times, unfortunately, I don't know why we're overlooked, but like this is a big time place to play, and we're super proud of it.
Thanks, Nate.
Awesome.
Yeah, we love to hear a coach that is not shy about letting it be known that he hears the noise, and especially the noise specific to him, and whether he's up to the task of leading this team to what their potential on paper suggests that they could be on the court. So it was fun to hear the little jab at the critics or what have you. And I'm saying, like, I see y'all, I hear y'all, and here we are. So as Khalil would say, what you gonna say now? So we love coaches that take a moment to talk their talk. We appreciate that moment.
We really do. Y'all know better than probably anyone else in this side of the Mississippi River. I love to talk my talk. I like when they talk their talk. It makes me excited to talk about their talk. So everything just gets me going. We got to get to this super chat from Psycho Blue SFXT. More tweets about talk. Kosh tweet about leaving clean laundry on the bed and sleeping next to it is the realest thing I've read in months. Mighty Mercury. The best part of that is I have had the same laundry clean since the beginning of the semifinals. Me and Kalia, dirty laundry, or I guess clean laundry. My bad, Kalia. I didn't mean to insinuate you didn't do your laundry, but nah, we just be letting our laundry pile up right now, and it's tough. We're busy. Like I barely got time to go to sleep, let alone put my laundry away. And then y'all are wondering about my outfit today. Me too. This was just what I had available to me. So it's tough, but shout out to you. Thanks for the super chat. Talk your talk. Kalia can talk her talk, and so can the laundry, I guess. After all, lucky laundry added to the list of luck.
Laundry. If you ain't did it now, you might as well keep it that way the rest of the way.
What Steven said.
I didn't get to ask you this because you were doing your job, being a Big J journalist covering the team.
Big J is crazy.
But the playoff hat that I have in my left hand.
That's right.
This thing is magic, is it not?
It is.
We're 3-0 with this.
It wouldn't be considered a memento, would it?
No.
It would be some other word.
It'd be like some sort of like
with like a lucky charm or
relic or
like
something.
That. Yeah, for sure. It's around. So shout out to you for holding it down.
It takes a village, really.
It takes those little efforts, the margins. That's a margin.
I love when Steven uses our ridiculousness to prove his good and real valid point.
Shout out Kevin for the multiple efforts. We appreciate it.
Man, that's tough. We got another super chat, this time from the Pretty Fam. What did my girl say? Dubs in the chat for our Mighty Mercury. I'll never forget dancing with Delilah. Oh my gosh, and now I have to zoom my eyes in. And the joy on her face as we took the game. Oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. This team is special, and I'm so blessed to be a part of the X Factor and experiencing it with y'all. As I walked away from the Hornitos Lounge at halftime, I looked at all of my friends over there, and I said, see y'all at the finals. I never had any doubt. I told the security guards on my way to my seat, I said, see y'all at the finals, see Delilah at the finals, see Steven at the finals, see Kevin at the finals, see everybody at the finals. Because I believe in this team. And I guess they believe in them too. Back to the clips though, Steven.
But no, another effort, Delilah. We didn't forget about Friday night and what turned out to be today. So shout out to Delilah for the effort she made. Everybody making sacrifices around here to get this thing done. But yes, back to the clips. DeWanna Bonner is a special human being for one, and she got very, very, very personal with opening up just on what it was that this season has been for her, and just kind of the way that everything came about. We want to shout out the homie Hayden Silly for this question. Here was DeWanna on everything that this season has been for her this year.
I know that this season for you has been a roller coaster.
Oh boy, tell me about
it. Would you be able to sort of take us through those sort of that mental hurdle and sort of how rewarding it feels now to sort of overcame what you overcame now that you're heading back to the WNBA Finals once again?
Oh man, I don't know if I've overcome it yet. It's been like a whirlwind, but yeah, it's been tough, you know, it's been tough. I went through a lot, especially like the cyberbullying, things like that, but just thankful for my teammates, my family, my kids. I don't think I'm over it, but I'm just gonna live in this moment with them, and I've been riding the wave with them and how much they love it, and you know they brought joy back to me just watching them play that way and welcome me like that. But just one game at a time, one step at a time, each day, one day at a time. Alyssa probably gets the most. Like some days I'm just like I don't have it, you know, and she kind of pick up the slack. But just happy to be back and happy to be on the court and happy to be in front of love, happy to be playing the game again and loving it. So yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, shout out to DeWanna Bonner. A winner personified is one of a billion different ways you can kind of surmise her. She went through a lot this season. We had people questioning whether she was the right fit, the right piece to be brought into this Mercury team while the team was on a hot streak early in the season. We had people questioning whether she could still even play. She even mentioned early on when she came to the team that she contemplated whether she could still hoop and whether she wanted to continue to do it. And she said some of it was just her sitting with her own thoughts, but a lot of it was also Alyssa speaking to her and letting her know, like, you can still play. Like, you can still have an impact. You're still a good player, a really good player at that. So just hearing all of the mental part of everything that it is that DeWanna's been resilient going through all season long really speaks to, it's a microcosm of what this team is. Satou going through injuries, Kai going through injuries, people questioning whether Alyssa can continue to get it done to the levels that she has, people questioning what Sammy Whitcomb can bring to the team outside of shooting threes, whether Nate can get it done as a coach. What is Nick Uren doing with all of these rookies that haven't had experience in the W on a roster that's supposed to be contending? Mm-hmm. All these questions. And everybody in their own individual ways, but also collectively wearing that on their sleeves and just showing up every day and building up to this moment now, which is them going to the finals. So shout out to DeWanna Bonner, all-time great winner. Playoff leader in points and rebounds. Again, cannot say those things enough. You don't get to those things by accident, and she's the ultimate competitor because of it.
I was one of those doubters. I told you about that. But at the same time, It has meshed better than I could have ever even. If I was a believer before she got here, I still couldn't have anticipated how well it would have worked out. Mm-hmm. And I love Nate talking about how, the first series wasn't bright enough for her. Wasn't big enough stage. Mm-hmm. She needed more. She wanted more. And she went out and she got more. And she gets it in games like this and games like Game 2 back in Minnesota. Like, these are the stages that you bring in a player like DeWanna Bonner for. And she proves to be successful in them time after time after time. She's a born and bred winner.
Yeah, and I think the other part of it too. It would still feel real if she wasn't involved and they were able to figure out how to get it done. But I think there's a little bit of basketball poetry to DT and BG not being around anymore. And it's just a bunch of new Phoenix Mercury players, essentially, that didn't go through that iteration of the team at its peak. And then here comes one piece that was in a different role then, wore a different jersey number then, spins the block and is able to find her way, like she said, back home. And them all of a sudden being able to just figure things out. And also going to get this win in this series against this team especially. I know there's a lot of poetry. There's a lot of poetry about how this is kind of piecing itself together as far as the story for the team.
You know what else is really poetic, Steven? This is the first finals appearance without DT. This is the first PHNX Mercury pod to go over 100 likes. We're at 102 likes. SPG and Erica, this is a great show. Shout out to everybody in the chat. 103 likes now. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Thank y'all for hanging out with me before Steven got here, before the real analyst got here. I appreciate y'all for hanging out. Appreciate y'all for making it work while we were just talking to ourselves. And now we got Steven, the savant, back live in action. And I don't think there's a better Mercury podcast anywhere than this one. And so shout out to all of you guys for knowing that, being here live with us, live and in the flesh after the Mercury pulls off what some said would be impossible. Not us, though.
Yep.
See, Eric, Steven wants... I almost said that so backwards.
Eric, first of all, no. Second of all, what's wrong with you? Third of all, that's what you do. Everybody got a lane they kind of stay in. I'm staying in mine. But shout out to you for doing that and celebrating the way that you did for everything that was that ASU dub last night, or whatever night that was, Friday night, excuse me. Y'all did y'all thing with that episode, and we've been putting up some good numbers as a company this past, 4 days, Kevin?
Yeah.
This 4 days specifically, we've been doing a lot.
When Ka said dubs in the chat, she was talking about us.
This is true.
Word on the street.
Very true.
Yeah, Michael, you're right. Can Eric come do the worm then? Eric, get here. We might talk long enough for you to get here, so just bring it on.
Eric be here more than enough. He's not coming back until Monday. So maybe we have Eric do it Monday and we just have it pre-recorded for game one.
You can just Photoshop me into the clip and it'll be all right. I'm cool. Eric, do the worm again. You're the official worm doer of PHNX Sports. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's tough.
See, Eric, that's why I said what I said. You do it once,
Yep.
they're gonna expect you to do it all the time.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to chug more than once. Dang. It's unfortunate.
Also, Steven, before we move on from DB, right? Me and Erica, this is something we were talking about on the beginning of this pod, but I wanted your take on it, right? Nate spoke to this post game as well, like to the idea of like, this is why I keep DB in these games. This is why you stick with your legend that you have on your roster in the clutch moments. Like, what was your take on Nate's reaction to like almost like being validated by his player tonight?
Yeah, this is why when we had the kind of inflection point and people were questioning what is he doing with the rotation? Why is he only playing 8 players and this, that, and the third? And my response, I remember the episode we had, I said it's all about those pieces that you know that you're going to need most when it matters most to have as much experience as they can together. The fact that they had so many players in and out of the lineup because of injury and things like that. You finally get everybody healthy post All-Star break. You go from the first like 5 or 6 games, they had like a 9 or 10 player rotation, condenses to like 5, or it condenses to 8 that last about 12 to 14 games, and they learn a lot. It comes with some losses, 2 losses within a week to the Las Vegas Aces, some other losses sprinkled in there, one to the Atlanta Dream, of course. But it's all about them learning from those, and I feel like they've applied the lessons learned in a lot of those things, and because of that, and them being given the runway to make mistakes, but also compile the film that they need to go back, watch it, and learn from it. It's the conflict resolution part that I spoke to with Satou. I forgot which game after I was speaking to, but you don't get to these depths of the trust and the buy-in and the belief and the veteran know-how and just figuring things out without those moments in the regular season. So them applying those lessons in real time is really shining through in these playoffs in particular.
Well, and Nate has talked about the fact that this team didn't have a ton of chemistry to go off of. You have to let them have those moments to learn from so that in the big moments like these, you're on the side of victory instead of the side of sadness. And on that same note, we're on the side of victory yet again because we got yet another super chat, this time from 179 West. Every time I pray to Sri Ganesha? Did I say it right?
I feel like that was a good attempt, yeah.
Period. In the hashtag AT4MVP group chat, the Mercury win. Man, are we some prayer people when the Mercury are playing basketball? Mercury in 4 for the finals. I
pray
Pray-
Rising makes the postseason too. Shout out to Owen Reese and Max whenever he decides to show up to that podcast.
Kevin genuinely lets me get through half the super chat and then he takes it away and then I
Yeah, that was on me. I will put my hand up.
both
Accountability.
times. I'm like, hello, Kevin? I'm trying to read. I do not have superhuman vision. Back to you, Steven. My goodness.
No, shout out to the Rising guys. They put in work. Well, at least 2/3 of them. Like you said, when Max decides to show up, he shows up and adds value. But back to the clips from post game. We also got some kind of insight to Satou Sabally's perspective on where the team is now, headed into the finals, and ultimately what it is that they're working towards.
I think we're at 99%.
What's that 1%?
Just winning it and proving it. And then I'll be like, yeah, we had 100.
Awesome. Awesome that we're getting that too.
Sounds good.
So yeah, that was a cool little moment. Satou acknowledging that they're playing well, but also again never too high about the moment, understanding that the job is still not finished, and that 1% that they need is kicking the door down on the finals, and they have 4 more wins to get that done. Last clip we got for y'all, and then we can kind of get into more general or open discussions. This was another fun and kind of introspective one with Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner, speaking to just their experience, the kind of things that they've gone through as a tandem of players, and how that's kind of factored into everything that the Mercury have built this season.
Yeah, I mean, coming here, I didn't want any drop off. Playoffs is a standard for myself, and coming here, their history with winning championships, I just wanted to keep that going, and we have a group that believed in that. We've stayed the course. We've had our adversity, and we're back in the finals, which is extremely hard to get to, and no one picked us, and we're gonna just continue to believe in ourselves.
I'm home. That's all. I'm home. I'm back to where again, the love has been real since I've been back here, and there's no greater feeling than putting on that jersey for me. I did it for 10 straight years, and then to come back and put it back on and still feels the same. Different number, but still feels, nothing feels better than wearing Mercury across my chest. And every single night, going out there with them and them welcoming me in the second half of the season has been nothing. It just felt like a perfect fit. Like we didn't have a drop off, and they were already playing well, and I just kind of, molded my way in there. So I'm just home. It just feels good. That's all. Jeff?
I think it says a lot that Alyssa Thomas chose the Mercury. I think we heard Nate Tibbetts mention that in the first clip we had played on this post-game show. But it says a lot that she chose not just the Mercury for what they are in the present day, but Alyssa also mentioned understanding all of the winning and the winning culture and the winning standard that's set with this franchise, and wanting to be a part of that, understanding the challenges that will come with meeting a standard that's set as high as any other standard for any other team in the entire league, and seeing that as an opportunity, not even a challenge, it's just an opportunity to continue to do what she's been doing her entire career, which is just find a way to get the job done. She did that in droves, and that's a large reason of why this team has gotten to this point in the season. The other big thing with DeWanna as well, choosing to come back, talking about all of the newness around the franchise, and being able to just find a way to, like she said, fit in. But at other times of the season, she's also talked about the team saying that you need to do more than fit in because we need you to be yourself, to be our best version of ourselves. So it's been cool to kind of see them just kind of reflect on that process of thinking things through before ultimately finding their way to Phoenix. And here we are with those two players being in the finals yet again, this time for the first time as members of the Phoenix Mercury together.
This squad, it's a special group.
It is.
Top to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
It's a special, special team that people continue to underestimate. I hope in the finals that the big media people, the 4 letters, hopefully don't underestimate them too much.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 cost point.
No, it's not going to change.
You don't think so?
It's not going to change.
Do you think it matters who wins the other series?
Nope.
I don't either.
Not at all. What's for them is going to be for them, and I feel like they've worked up a great bit of their own luck just by putting in the work, and we've seen things kind of work in their favor in certain respects because of it.
Well, I want to get into a little bit of a preview section here.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we don't know who we're previewing for because there's still a Game 5 to happen on that other side of the bracket. But from a Mercury standpoint, I think we can expect this same tenacious, gritty, defensive-minded team. I think one thing that Alyssa Thomas said this week that really has stuck out to me is that the Mercury realized who they were this week. And I think that's so important when you're moving into a finals series, whether that's versus the Aces or the Fever, to realize you are exactly who you think you are, and you're capable of winning games in the way that you want to win the games.
Mm-hmm.
It says a lot about this team, where they're at, and where they can go. What do you see ahead of them for the finals?
I see them still having their work cut off for them. Their biggest opponent is themselves. It's been that all season long when they play to their strengths and their qualities and their identity, and they're playing to those qualities for a full or close to 40 minutes. They've hardly lost to any team when they've played their style of basketball. They don't need to shift things around in respect to who their opponent is. They just need to continue to double and triple and quadruple down on what got them there, and that's defense. First, second, and third. Defense setting the tone and table for their offense, but defense also making their opponents uncomfortable in the most meaningful pockets of games. We saw what they did to the New York Liberty, making them turn the ball over and just kind of operate offensively in the half court in ways that are not akin to what their identity is and not what their style of play is. Different, but similar in terms of sending a team that's good at specific things off script often. We saw them do the same thing in this second round series with the Minnesota Lynx. And we just got done talking about the last 3/4 quarters for this team defensively in this series and how that's kind of shifted things heavily in their favor as we've gone through the series. It's all about the defense. I think we can now comfortably say, we've been saying it all season long, but in respect to other teams that have also been really good defensively, this is the best defensive team in the WNBA. And they've been that more often this season than they haven't been. And because of that, that's why they're in this particular round going into the finals. And I think it's going to be the reason why they ultimately win it all, because their defense is unique from everyone else's. Some teams can do things similar to them. Teams can't have the magnitude of impact that they do in specific pockets because of the personnel, but also because of the preparation from the coaching staff, the buy-in to the things that they need to do that might not necessarily be what shows up on the box score. They just care about winning, and they continue to get it done with defense.
Steven, the chat is going absolutely diabolical because Melissa just became a member, and they want a wah.
Maybe I'll think about it before we get done.
Okay. All right, period. That's tough, guys. He's making you work for it. I think he's saying, like, we got 118 people in here. Y'all can get to 115 likes.
I'm just saying, if you do this for winning the conference or winning through the semis and getting to the finals, then what do you do to follow that up if they win it all?
It's not for that. It's for Melissa becoming a member. It's for 118 likes.
Mm-hmm.
It's our first ever member.
The win is not for them almost finishing the job on the court. It's for us finishing the job tonight with a postgame show that is so well supported by the people in this chat that all they want to do is get a win.
We'll think about it before we end the podcast.
I'm gonna like I told Eric, I was telling Eric to be quiet in the chat, just so you know I have your back, Steven.
I appreciate it.
I was trying to let you talk ball. I was talking today with somebody about how much of a smarter basketball fan I am because of you, and I want you to have a chance to educate everybody else.
Appreciate that.
Who's your X factor for the finals? And I know it's tough because, again, we're previewing a series that we don't know the opponent to, but right now, if you had to call your shot.
It's going to continue to be Satou. It was Satou for me against the New York Liberty. It was the same for different reasons. in a more comprehensive way against the Minnesota Lynx. It's going to be Satou again in the finals, regardless of who the opponent is matchup-wise. But I will say it feels like there's been multiple moments through these first 2 rounds where games are asking for Monique's impact on the offensive end to be felt. I think it's on the way. I think she has not breakout game, because I feel like anybody that's watching our show understands the potential she has. But I think she has y'all that don't know me, this is me, I'm Monique Cole-McConney type of performance in her. And naturally, I imagine it's going to happen maybe once or twice on the final stage. But she's going to have a moment, and I think that moment is going to be one where people are really going to start to acknowledge her, not just for her ability to put the ball in the basket, but that'll then get their eyes on her for the true invaluability that she provides to the defensive end of the floor. We're talking about a rookie coming in and is the starting point guard for a team that's going to the WNBA Finals. A rookie that's also one of the best defenders in the WNBA, a league that she's still learning in terms of what's called a foul, what's not called a foul, different personnel. She's still figuring a lot out, but the league is also working to try to figure her out because her impact is continuously felt with this Mercury team. So I would say my X factor is going to be Satou. I think there's going to be a moment or two where Monique shines through. And naturally, she didn't have her best game tonight, but franchise player Kalia Copper is going to have multiple moments, because when the moment demands for her production, she shows up. It's what she does.
I love Holmes' confidence. It's Mac. Who's going to guard Asia?
Who guarded Fee?
You're not.
Who guarded Stewie?
I'm just letting my commenters have a nice little field day.
Well, just having conversations, that's all.
I like when they get to have fun, and this is one of those moments where they get to have a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all been running them likes up, getting the job done. Just like the Mercury got the job done with the W, you guys got the job done with the likes in the chat, and we gotta appreciate that. I think
Rob, I don't want to get your hopes up, but I would not expect for her to make it because of the bad luck that the Mercury have had on the getting proper recognition for your efforts in production this season. That bit of it.
I don't know if you heard my one word burn, but it was disrespect for a reason. All the way around. Disrespect, and more disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's not disrespectful? I almost called you Kevin. This is tough. This just gets awkward and awkwarder. Every time I talk, it's tough. But what's not tough is the Mercury W tonight. And it's not tough for me to talk about it because I'm so excited. And our likers got us to where we're supposed to be. You're here. We got to learn more about hoops. We get to talk more about ball because what do you know? We are going to get more ball games to talk about. 7 more for that matter.
Well, no, hopefully it's only 4 and it's a sweep, but the Mercury have 4 more wins to get. Let's say it that way. I would love to purchase some brooms from Circle K. Let's just throw it out there.
Oh my God. Do you think they sell brooms?
I'm sure they would make some special made ones for the Mercury.
Special made Merc brooms.
I bet Spencer's Appliances does as well, if Circle K does not.
Steven, thank you for the postseason award. That isn't one of those awards. WNBA Podcast of the Year equals PHNX Mercury.
We appreciate it, but if there was a national award, we wouldn't get the recognition because that's what happens.
To the Mercury, it's tough.
That's why it's got to be more than the recognition, why you do what you do.
Mercury versus everybody, and that includes us. But we're not a part of the everybody
Not in the
part.
same way, though, but yes.
We're not the everybody part, just to be very clear. Luke says it.
Who's y'all X factor for the finals?
I'm gonna say it. I have been saying for 2 weeks that the AT Finals MVP is gonna hit like crack, and I hope that's the case. I want her to take a trophy home that she doesn't have to share with anybody. She doesn't have to compete with. She is the most competitive player on the floor on each side every single night that ends in Y, and I think she deserves that type of recognition. She has been the motor, the engine, everything for this team. Every night when they need her, it doesn't matter what they need her to do, whether it's pass the ball to an open shooter or take the shot herself. She goes out and gets it done. And I really just, I hope it's AT because I think she deserves it. I think she is that type of player that, like we've talked about it all year, like she might not ever have the numbers loud enough to really be the MVP. But fine. If she walks away walks away with the Finals MVP, I'll be happy. My go at will be #respected, and I'll take it.
I'm sure Alyssa would much rather have a Finals MVP than a regular season MVP.
I agree.
Because the Finals MVP means that you won it all. And
I
that's the
like
one thing that the highest level that she just hasn't kicked that door down yet. But I think it's on the way.
I love that our commenters just bullied you into getting it there.
I didn't get bullied. Let's not get that. Let's not get that part confused.
Well, shout out to all of you guys in the comments. This is the best chat we've ever had. 120 likes. It's too much for my little empath heart to handle. You guys did win, but don't think you won the bullying. There was no bullying here on the Phoenix Mercury podcast. Kevo, who's going to be your X factor in the next series? Tell it the class.
I feel like it would be lazy analysis, #lazy analysis, to say AT, in my opinion, because you know what AT is going to give you.
But you're not calling me lazy, right?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying on my part, it'd be lazy to say X Factor, because you know she's the MVP. Like I feel like X Factor is more semantics, right? But I feel like X Factor is like, they could show up any given night, but they might not. But you know AT. Like, you know the car is going to run. You know the engine is going to start up. But is Satou Sabally going to give you like 20-plus points in support of that? I feel like that is why Satou Sabally is the X Factor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, guys, I think we've done some excellent work previewing a series that we don't know the opponent for, which, I mean, I don't know any job that's harder than that.
Some stress-free basketball watching for y'all on Tuesday.
No, genuinely, I cannot express enough how excited I am to watch a game that we have no dog in the fight. We get to just sit back and have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
Watch Aaliyah Boston and Asia Wilson in their duel.
Apparently there's some smoke there. Some Gamecock smoke there.
And you know what?
Some talk about whistles, and
again,
I find it funny watching other players talk about whistles when we've watched what we've watched every game this season, and we just barely started to see that work in their favor the last 2 games, and then all of a sudden everybody's in the tizzy about the Mercury getting calls when they gotten calls the last 5.5 months, bro. Like it's really funny to watch the way the discourse has shifted, but.
I just think it's funny that if Cheryl didn't get thrown out of last game, she might have got thrown out of this one. Because
Why is that?
Foul counts were just as off balance again.
Mm-hmm.
And the whistle, the amount of times the whistle was being blown was enough to make me riot, let alone I can't imagine if Cheryl was in the building.
Yeah.
So
I mean, my rebuttal to it continues to be
go to the rim.
If you put up 20 shots at the rim and your opponent puts up 5 less than you, that means you've been the aggressor.
Yep.
You played downhill a little bit more.
Well, guys, we have a really fun and special gift for you guys. While it's not a special Merc level whistle, we are going to celebrate the victory together. I told Kevin to come over here so we can get a nice little family photo as we celebrate this nice victory together. I'm not going to have a mic on, so you're just going to have to hear me through the loudness of my voice. Kevin, come on. We switching spots. All right, guys. Hello? I guess wah first, though, whatever that is. Wham!
No, go ahead. Go crazy.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Cheers, everybody!
Okay, bet. Wah!
Probably a third left, actually. I'm sorry, everybody. Yeah, out of here.
We appreciate y'all. This was another fun night, another historic night for the show, for all y'all supporting us. Obviously for the franchise and the team even more so. And they're not finished, and so we're not done. So we're looking forward to everything that is this week. Finals start on Friday, regardless of what happens in Tuesday's game. It's just a matter of if the Mercury will be at home for game 1 and 2, or if they'll be on the road for game 1 and game 2. So we'll be finding out on Tuesday. And until then, make sure y'all continue to stay on the lookout for things coverage-wise from us on socials. Got fun stuff coming. We'll probably have a show between now and the start of the finals. So be on the lookout for that as far as scheduling and everything pertaining to that goes. But enjoy Tuesday's game, and we will talk to y'all sometime between now and the start of the finals.
I'm stoked. You're stoked. They said they weren't going to go to the playoffs.
They
And
did.
now we're going to the finals.